Spanning 10 seasons with over 200 episodes, Stargate SG-1 has traveled to countless planets, encountered different races, and met numerous aliens, some friend and some foe. They have worked tirelessly to use whatever means necessary to acquire technology that could help Earth in its battle against unforeseen aggressors. But one of the biggest reasons for Stargate SG-1's success has been the way that Earth-based mythology has been woven into the show's fabric.
Woven is a fantastic way of putting it, Michael. You know, over 10 seasons, the show has always found an entertaining way to put a Stargate twist on the mythology.
Join us as we take you deep into 10 years of Stargate SG-1 mythology.
And don't worry, we'll sort it all out for you by the end of this show.
We hope.
We hope.
If mythology is defined as a set of stories, traditions, or beliefs associated with a particular group, arising naturally or deliberately fostered, Stargate SG-1 is certainly doing everything possible to create a deep and layered mythology that Stargate could call its own.
Make no mistake, Osiris will return, and the rivers of the earth will run red with blood.
I think the role that mythology has played in this show has obviously been a very important one. I mean, from the genesis of the series, it was based in Egyptian mythology.
This is just incredible.
You know, being the cradle of civilization, we often wonder the hows and the whys, and this gave at least a sci-fi perspective of what could have maybe possibly happened back in those ancient times.
Jack, I think that this is a map of a vast network of Stargates that are all over the galaxy.
The Stargate's a key mythological element in the show because it fits into a number of mythological systems. The Egyptian, the Celtic, the Norse, which are three major systems that operate in the show, all have references to bridges, for example, that traverse one world to the next.
The Stargate is the means of seeding all of the planets with different mythologies. So as a narrative device, it works perfectly.
You know, I think people love to see, you know, stories that they're familiar with, you know, mythological stories, things that they've heard before, explained with a Stargate twist.
I think that's one of the best things about Stargate. I think it's one of the first things that attracted me to the feature film was the concept of the idea that certain myths or questions or, you know, the great wonders of the world or different relics like the pyramids that are left behind are yet to be really properly explained. And everybody's got some highfalutin theory. That's what's great about science fiction and asking the what-if questions is that we can put our own spin on that because we have artistic license to do whatever we want. That's the wonderful thing about Stargate, the series, is that we've been able to not only borrow from the Egyptians, we've been able to borrow from the Greeks and the Romans, and now we're working in our Arthurian mythologies. We're actually able to conjure up with our imagination some ideas that, you know, speculation on ideas that other people have toyed with because there are no right answers. So we can create something and it really makes, as opposed to just making people escape, it makes them kind of think and go, well, that might be true or that's not true.
The parchment told us that 5 virtues would guide us in our quest for the Sangreal: prudence, kindness, charity, wisdom, and faith. Now we displayed prudence in finding a way out of the temporal maze, charity in escaping the force field trap, kindness by helping the child in finding the hidden passageway, and wisdom in solving the riddles. The only virtue left is faith.
Danger! Mythologies are designed to give us a sense of how we fit into the universe. They ask where we're coming from and where we're going.
So, where are you from?
Where we come from and where we are going are all the same.
Oh, I get you. Wherever you go, there you are.
And what we see when we look at mythological systems and what our intrepid heroes, SG-1, see when they look out at the galaxy and the vast panoply of characters that they meet there is really yourself. Everywhere you go, there you are.
And that's one of the reasons that Stargate works so well, is because it does have this hook into ancient mythologies. And a lot of fans are fascinated with the whole idea of the ancient mythologies because they use it as a sort of scientific explanation for things that can't really be explained otherwise.
There's a legend around here about a hall of Thor's might.
Daniel, there's a time and place for mythology.
With all due respect, sir, we thought Thor's hammer was a myth until we proved it was real.
In fact, Stargate is something that you might call cultural bricolage. It's a way of going through all of human culture and picking up little bits and pieces and sticking them together, but sticking them together using the Stargate as a glue and making it into a really, really interesting story.
There's a rule of 4 in mythology in terms of heroes. I know that, but it's also a good rule of television. You can pair off.
We're gonna split up. I'm with Teal'c. Yo, wait up.
And you can cover a good dynamic of different kinds of hero. You've got your military person in Jack O'Neill, and later on in Mitchell.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, man! Bullets bounce!
And you've got your warrior and Teal'c.
You have Daniel Jackson as an intellectual and scientist.
Unless we want to get ourselves a really bad reputation, I just think we should avoid shooting the first people we meet on a new planet.
And in Sam, possibly the hardest character to have to try to portray. She's almost all of them. She is the warrior. She is the thinker.
When the local sun sets and it gets dark, you can actually see a luminous layer of ionized gas around the dying core expanding.
Fascinating.
And, of course, the woman. Boy, she had a lot on her plate, and she can pull it off. It's amazing.
How good is this? Got the band back together.
Yeah, so what's with the extra backup singer?
Oh, she's good fun. Plus, we figured if Jackson were to
Die.
yeah, that's the word, it would jeopardize the mission.
As the series progresses, especially a series that has gone as long as SG-1, you start creating I've been referring to it as a sort of critical mass of its own mythology. Mythology that stops borrowing from other cultures and ancient Earth history and starts basically a self-generating mythology.